Let's see if you can see me. Hold on a second. Hopefully it's working. So here's what I have. So I have 4 different pictures, and this one right here behind me is my favorite. It's from downtown Abbey, and I just thought it matched. Like you can see the 2 different couches. Kind of works.
I really like it. I think it looks cool.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah. I found 2 other ones, but I'm trying to find one that's a little bit darker. Like where you can like try and see better. Like you see like the shadow of the window, and so like the lighting's kind of weird. So that's what I'm trying to figure that out. And so, because in the play it's supposed to be raining outside, and so that's why they're inside. So that's what I'm trying to see if I can find something that maybe has a window with rain or not. So and then we're still waiting for another one to join us. So do you have any comments or any questions or anything? Did you read my notes that I sent from the group? Okay. Do you have any questions about that? Or are you okay with it? Like you can tell me anything, like it's all good.
I thought it was really constructive and helpful, and I will utilize what you said to me. So yeah, I like it and I appreciate it, and I'll use that.
Sorry, interpreter was frozen. So like I watched the video and I noticed there was improvement. And so there was a big improvement, so that was great. And let's see, also, so like each rehearsal we've gotten better. And we just have to keep at it. And so that's just what we need to do and just keep moving forward. And so what's important is to be able to be yourselves and be able to do what the characters are doing, but always remember that like where they are in society. And so like, and you also want to show your facial expressions to exaggerate, like as if you were in a play, but just like how you hold your hands or just your posture and everything, and just kind of over exaggerate like you would if you were on stage, or to show the frustration or whatever emotion you're feeling. And then I saw in the last meeting, you guys were talking about maybe meeting together to read over lines. Did you guys do that? Like that you were gonna, did you meet over the weekend at all?
I wasn't able to. It was a really busy weekend. My best friend got married, and so I was really busy with that.
Oh, your friend got married. How fun.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I mean, if he needs someone to read lines with him, I'm more than happy to, but I don't have very many lines, so it's not as stressful for me.
Yeah. So that's what I got from the group. So I know he was struggling a little bit with it, and I know I'm asking a lot from him because it's a lot of lines. And so what's important is how I direct you. And so it may not be like super important, but it's my grade, so it's mostly how I'm handling everything and what's going on during our meetings. But if like maybe if you have to have it like next to your computer and read at the same time, but like have your face up and look like you're looking at the person who's on Zoom, that might be an option. But so far, when we've been practicing, I know he's trying to have like more of the vocal intonations of being more of a posh accent and like showing the emotions that is being felt, but like really memorizing it, I don't know if it should be required because it is such a short time and there's just so much. So I don't blame you for not having it completely memorized. And I know this scene, I've had to cut it even shorter. And if I have to, I can just have 2 people and just have Oswald and Miss Alving. But I like it with adding the maid because it adds more depth. And so I didn't want to add the 3rd character, but I extended the scene, so I did have the 3rd character. But where I ended it, I thought that was perfect spot because right afterwards the pastor comes in, and that would have been 4 characters, and I didn't want it to be over time, and so we have about 11 minutes worth in our scene, and so that's kind of the upper limit of what I needed for my class. But we don't have to hurry, we can just be natural and going back and forth, but just remember that it's the proper speaking like we're in an upper class. So, okay, let me see. So like the problem is I can't hear when somebody tries to enter the meeting, so I have to always be watching. Perfect. Sorry, I didn't hear the little ding that you were in the waiting room.
That's okay.
That I sent you the most. So this is my choice, but I want you to look at it and think which one you like out of the backgrounds that I've sent. So and I'll send that later today. I'll send you 4 of them. Okay?
Awesome.
So Daniel, were you able to read the notes that I sent you?
I read notes. I didn't see anything specific to me. Let me see.
I think I did. There was something in there that I added each of your names next to my notes. I had 3 different parts.
She
Oh, I see.
in Group Me, not an email.
Group Me. Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. I'm reading it right now. I'm sorry.
Nope, no problem. It's not long, and so it's rather short. So when you're done, just let us know, and then we can go ahead and start.
Okay.
And you have to leave at 4, right, Hannah?
Yeah, I do. I have a class at 4.
Okay. I'll be watching the time for that. I'm trying to make it, hopefully we can run through twice before you leave. So that's my goal, but at least the once, but my goal is for 2 times before you leave. Are you playing music?
Okay. Okay, awesome.
Okay. Are you okay with that? Like, do you have any questions?
No, that's perfect. I think, yeah, I completely agree with all the notes. I think those are awesome, and I'll be sure to try to implement those. And then over the weekend, I think I messaged about memorization. So
Yeah.
I'll put a lot of focus into memorization, but it sounds like performance-wise I'm doing okay. And then I guess if the time comes, if I need to use the script, I'll use it, but I'll still continue to memorize what I can.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. So what is more important, and I was just talking about it right before you joined, for this project for me, it's more about me as your director, and that's what I'm being graded on. It's not necessarily what you guys are as an acting. And so if you need to look at the script, you can, and that's totally fine. But what's important is to, like, as if you were on stage, look at whoever is talking, or just kind of do body language to see what would be happening. But like if you have the script right in front of your face, it kind of distracts from the scene. And so, but if you need to have it like open right next to you on the computer or propped up or something, that's totally fine. So you don't have to worry as much about memorizing it. So if you need the script, that's totally fine.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So because Hannah has to leave at 4, we're gonna try and do a run through twice and see how it's going, okay? So do you wanna go ahead and start at the very beginning of our scene?
Yes. Let me try to get this set up. All right.
Okay, and I'm gonna, you can close your video. Go back. Okay, I'm gonna close my video to black so you don't see me.
Okay. Mother, may I sit on the sofa beside you?
Yes, do, my dear boy.
There's something I must tell you, Mother.
Well?
For I can't go on hiding it any longer.
Hiding what? What is it?
I could never bring myself to write about it, and since I've come home,
Oswald, what is the matter?
both yesterday and today, I tried to put the thoughts away from me, to cast them off, but it's no use.
Now you must tell me everything, Oswald.
Sit still, and then I will try to tell you. I complained of fatigue after my journey.
Well, what then?
But it isn't that is the matter with me, not any ordinary fatigue.
You are not ill, Oswald.
Sit still, Mother. Do take it quietly. I'm not downright ill, either. Not what is commonly called ill. Mother, my mind is broken down, ruined. I shall never be able to work again.
Oswald, look at me. No, it's not true.
Never to be able to work again. Never, never. A living death. Mother, can you imagine anything so horrible?
My poor boy. How has this horrible thing come upon you?
That's just what I cannot possibly grasp or understand. I have never led a dissipated life, never in any respect. You mustn't believe that of me, Mother. I've never done that.
I am sure you haven't, Oswald.
And yet, this has come upon me just the same, this awful misfortune.
Oh, but it will pass over, my dear blessed boy. It's nothing but overwork. Trust me, I am right.
I thought so too at first, but it isn't so.
Tell me everything, from beginning to end.
Yes, I will.
When did you first notice it?
It was directly after I had been home last time and had got back to Paris again. I began to feel the most violent pains in my head, chiefly in the back of my head. They seemed to come. It was as though a tight iron ring was being screwed round my neck and upwards.
Well, and then?
At first, I thought it was nothing but an ordinary headache I had been so plagued with while I was growing up.
Yes.
But it wasn't that. I soon found that out. I couldn't work anymore. I wanted to begin upon a big new picture, but my power seemed to fail me. All my strength was crippled. I could form no definite images. Everything swam before me, whirling round and round. Oh, it was an awful state. At last, I sent for a doctor, and from him I learned the truth.
How do you mean?
He was one of the first doctors in Paris. I told him my symptoms, and then he set to work asking me a string of questions which I thought had nothing to do with this matter. I couldn't imagine what the man was after.
Well,
At last he said, "There has been something worm-eaten in you from your birth." He used the very word vermolu.
what did he mean by that?
I didn't understand either and begged him to explain himself more clearly. And then the old cynic said, "Ah!"
What did he say?
He said, "The sins of the fathers are visited upon the children."
The sins of the fathers.
I very nearly struck him in the face.
The sins of the fathers.
Yes, what do you think of that? Of course, I assured him that such a thing was out of the question, but do you think he gave in? No, I stuck to it, and it was only when I produced your letters and translated the passages related to father.
But
Then, of course, he had to admit that he was on the wrong track, and so I learned the truth, the incomprehensible truth. I thought I ought not to have taken part with my comrades in that light-hearted, glorious life of theirs. It had been too much for my strength. I had brought it upon myself.
Oswald, no, do not believe it.
No other explanation was possible, he said. That's the awful part about it. Incurably ruined for life by my own heedlessness. All that I meant to have done in the world, I never dare think of it again. I'm not able to think of it. Ah! If I could only live over again and undo all that I have done. If it had only been something inherited, something one wasn't responsible for, but to have thrown away so shamefully, thoughtlessly, recklessly one's own happiness, one's own health, everything in the world, one's future, one's very life.
No, my dear darling boy, this is impossible. Things are not so desperate as you think.
And then, mother, to cause you all this sorrow, many a time I have almost wished and hoped that at bottom, you didn't care so much about me.
Oswald, my only boy, you are all I have in this world, the only thing I care about.
Yes, I see it. When I'm at home, I see it, of course, and that's almost the hardest part for me. But now you know the whole story, and now we won't talk of it anymore today. I daren't think for it any longer. Give me something to drink, mother.
To drink? What do you want to drink now?
Anything you like. You have some cold punch in the house.
Yes, but my dear Oswald.
Don't refuse me, mother. Do be kind now. I must have something to wash down all these gnawing thoughts. And then it's so dark here. And all this ceaseless rain, it may go on week after week, months together, never to get a glimpse of the sun. I can't recollect ever having seen the sun shine all the times I've been home.
Oswald, you were thinking of going away from me.
I'm not thinking of anything. I cannot think of anything. I let thinking alone.
Did you ring, ma'am?
Yes, let us have the lamp in.
Oh, it's ready lighted.
Oswald, be frank with me.
I think I have told you enough.
Regina, you may bring us a small bottle of champagne.
Very well, ma'am.
That's just what I wanted. I knew mother wouldn't let her boy go thirsty.
My own poor darling Oswald, how could I deny you anything now?
Is that true, mother? Do you mean it?
How? What?
That you couldn't deny me anything.
Oh, my dear Oswald.
Shh, 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 shh.
Shall I open it?
No thanks, I will do it myself.
What was it you meant? That I mustn't deny you?
First, let us have a glass, or two.
Thanks, not for me.
Ah, won't you? Then I will.
Well,
Tell me, I thought you and Pastor Manders seemed so odd, so quiet at dinner today.
did you notice it?
Yes. Tell me, what do you think of Regina?
What do I think?
Yes. Isn't she splendid?
My dear Oswald, you don't know her as I do.
Well,
Regina, unfortunately, was allowed to stay at home too long. I ought to have taken her earlier into my house.
yes, but isn't she splendid to look at, Mother?
Regina has many serious faults,
Ah, what does that matter?
but I am fond of her, nevertheless, and I am responsible for her. I wouldn't for all the world have any harm happen to her.
Mother, Regina is my salvation.
What do you mean by that?
I cannot go on bearing all this anguish of soul alone.
Have you not your mother to share it with you?
Yes, that's what I thought, and so I came home to you, but that will not do. I see it won't do. I cannot endure my life here.
Oswald!
I must live differently, Mother. That is why I must leave you. I will not have you looking on at it.
My unhappy boy, but Oswald, while you are so ill as this,
If it were only the illness, I should stay with you, Mother. You may be sure, for you are my best friend I have in the world.
yes, indeed I am, Oswald, am I not?
But it's all the torment, the gnawing remorse, and then the great killing dread. Oh, that awful dread.
Dread? What dread? What do you mean?
Oh, you mustn't ask me anymore. I don't know. I can't describe it. What is it you want?
I want my boy to be happy. That is what I want. He shan't go on brooding over things. More champagne, a large bottle.
Mother,
Do you think we don't know how to live here at home?
isn't she splendid to look at? How beautiful she's built, and so thoroughly healthy.
Sit down, Oswald. Let us talk quietly together.
I dare say you don't know, Mother, that I owe Regina some reparation.
You?
For a bit of thoughtlessness, or whatever you like to call it. Very innocent, at any rate, when I was home last time.
Well,
Well, she used often to ask me about Paris, and I used to tell her one thing and another, and I recollect I happened to say to her one day, shouldn't you like to go there yourself?
well,
I saw her face flush, and then she said, yes, I should like it of all things. Ah, well, I replied, it might perhaps be managed or something like that.
and then?
Of course, I had forgotten all about it, but the day before yesterday, I happened to ask her whether she was glad I was to stay home so long.
Yes?
And then she gave me such a strange look and asked, but what's to become of my trip to Paris?
Her trip?
And so it came out that she had taken the thing seriously, that she had been thinking of me the whole time and had set to work to learn French.
So that was why.
Mother, when I saw that fresh, lovely, splendid girl standing there before me, till then I had hardly noticed her, but when she stood there as though with open arms ready to receive me,
Oswald!
then it flashed upon me that in her lay my salvation. For I saw that she was full of the joy of life.
The joy of life? Can there be salvation in that?
So long, but I had to go to the cellar.
And now bring another glass.
Well, there is Mrs. Alving's glass, Mr. Alving.
Yes, but bring one for yourself, Regina. Why do you wait?
Is it Miss Alving's wish?
Bring the glass, Regina.
Have you noticed how she walks so firmly and lightly?
This can never be, Oswald.
It's a settled thing. Can't you see that? It's no use saying anything against it. Sit down, Regina.
Sit down. Oswald, what were you saying about the joy of life?
Ah, the joy of life, Mother. That's a thing you don't know much about in these parts. I've never felt it here.
Not when you are with me?
Sorry, I lost my place for a sec. Not when I'm at home, but you don't understand that.
Yes, yes. I think I almost understand it now.
And then to the joy of work. At bottom, it's the same thing, but that too, you know nothing about.
Perhaps you are right. Tell me more about it, Oswald.
I only mean that here people are brought up to believe that work is a curse and a punishment for sin, and that life is something miserable, something it would be best to have done with, the sooner the better.
A veil of tears. Yes, and we certainly do our best to make it one.
But in the great world, people won't hear of such things. There, nobody really believes such doctrines any longer. There, you feel it a positive bliss and ecstasy merely to draw the breath of life. Mother, have you noticed that everything I have painted has turned upon the joy of life? Always, always upon the joy of life. Light and sunshine and glorious air and faces radiant with happiness. That is why I'm afraid of remaining at home with you.
Afraid? What are you afraid of here with me?
I'm afraid lest all my instincts should be warped into ugliness.
Do you think that is what would happen?
I know it. You may live the same life here as there, and yet it won't be the same life.
Now I see the sequence of things.
What is it you see?
I see it now for the first time, and now I can speak.
Mother, I don't understand you.
Perhaps I have to go.
No, stay here. Now I can speak. Now, my boy, you shall know the whole truth, and then you can choose. Oswald? Regina?
Shh, the pastor.
Okay, that was awesome. All right, Hannah, if you need to leave, you can go ahead and do that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll message you more with notes from that. Okay. Because Hannah had to leave, we're kind of stuck. But Daniel, were you good about that? You feel good? Yeah. Better?
Yeah.
Better than last week?
Yeah. Every time. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I've noticed it was definitely better. Yeah.
Okay. So I get every time we do it, I get more. I feel like we're doing better every time. This time, for some reason, I don't know. I felt like towards the end, like the second half, I did really well. That's just how I felt. First half, I felt like I was kind of getting into the character. But I got there. At least that's how I felt. But yeah, that was my favorite run through that we've done.
Yeah. Oh, and I just suggest when you're doing your dialogue, you can move your hands if you feel like it. You can show emotion through that or any kind of body language. I mean, you're talking to your mom, so
Yeah.
Like, look at me, like, what I'm trying to say, something like that, some kind of connection.
Yeah, and there's parts in here where I like put my head down on the sofa or I drink a glass of the champagne or whatever that they brought me. Should I be doing that as well?
Oh yeah, please do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, try and do however you feel the character would act. You want to put your head down and follow those notes. Oh, and I want to, when you came in and you were hesitant and leaving, that was perfect. I liked that a lot as well. We'll figure out what to do about the lamp, but we'll deal with that later. But I really liked how you were trying your best to you know, just really get into character with that. Right at the end, when you came in and then you seemed kind of like, I'm not supposed to be here, but you noticed that she said, okay, fine, you can sit down. I want you both to kind of like maybe smile, like, oh, we're together now, you know what I mean? So you don't have to be quite as stiff, maybe. Oh, Zoom is also telling me that we have limited time, so it's gonna turn off in about 8 minutes. I don't know, but.
Okay, I have one more question, I think.
Oh yeah, please go ahead.
So I guess in preparation for the performance and all of that, we talked about which direction like we're looking when we're talking to each other. Are we staring in like towards the camera per se the entire time, or should we be looking off to the side most of the time?
Oh yeah. So right now I'm recording you right now, so I think I'll go back and look over it. And then maybe I'll just give some pointers about if you can move your shoulders a little bit one direction or another, then maybe that can kind of dictate where you're looking. Up until now, I mean, when you're looking in one direction, I really like that because of how the boxes are. Like, you know, mother is looking straight on, but, you know, I just, it's important that you just try to find somewhere, some lines where you want to like move your hands a little bit. Like there was one line that maybe I thought would be really good just before we leave, that you could add that, where you say, mother, where she says, oh, tell me everything beginning to end. And then you say, oh, I will. And then, oh, when did you notice it the first time?
Oh, I see it.
Oh, when I was at home last time, and then I went back to Paris, all of that. Maybe you could start being like, oh yeah, you know, like move your arms like this and that.
Like, it was directly after I'd been home last time.
Oh yeah, yeah, just like that, you know, just like, and when you're talking about your headaches, you could like touch your head, like.
It's just like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, just like that.
Okay.
And then when you're talking about the word that the doctor gave you for it.
Yeah, vermolu.
Right. So that line, I want you to maybe like make a face when you say that, kind of like, I don't know what that word means.
Like a nasty taste in my mouth, like vermolu.
Yeah, like that. Just kind of like, ugh.
Okay.
And then, you know, you could say, oh, what am I supposed to do? Like, it's telling me what to do. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you have a
Yeah.
question?
No, that makes sense because I don't know what that word means. So it's just natural to say it that way.
Right. I know. I need to research it and look into it as well. It's kind of a weird what that means, if that has anything to do with headaches. I don't know. But
Yeah.
maybe some kind of mental illness or something. So I'll research it a little bit more, what that means back then. So, and then I can share that with you guys later tonight, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I think we're gonna go ahead and close this meeting. I mean, just keep practicing, just get into the spirit of it, you know, and
Yeah.
I think it will be a good time. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Awesome. And then just I guess not really a reminder because I know you remember, but just to reiterate, you'll let us know which way you would prefer us to be looking, right? Because I think that's my current, if I need to plan out where my script is going to be, I want it to be generally where I could look at it and make it more casual.
Oh yeah, great, awesome. I will do that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Bye-bye. Stay
Bye.
safe.
See, Aspen.
Yeah.